I just want to preface this by saying I never planned to have kids. I don't think I can maintain them. I can barely maintain myself. But if I did, these are things I would and would not do to my theoretical kids. Here, wait. These are my kids. My ducks. Actually, I have a few thousand of these. I carry them, I have them in cups, and I carry a few of them with me at a time and I give them out to people. That was off topic. Anyway, so, things I would and would not do to my kids. First thing I would not do is put unrealistic expectations on them. Like, oh, you need to have all A's, or, like, I'm not having my kid come home crying because they got a B in school. Like, that's not happening. I'm not going to do that to a kid. I would also not make them do, 70 extracurriculars or take, all of the honors classes. I think that's ridiculous. I think that's unattainable. And I think it's unhealthy. And you're doing your child a disservice if you make them do all of that, if they don't want to. So I would not do that to my kid. What I would do, my kids would do chores. My kids would do their fair share around the house. They would be paid for it, because I don't think it's healthy to teach kids to be okay with accepting less. Obviously I understand, charity, but, if you're, I don't want your kid to, I don't know, be okay with, oh, I'm doing all this work for you and you're not gonna pay me. I'm not giving my kid that mentality. I would also not restrict the way my kids dress very much. I mean, I would have logical, age-based restrictions, appropriate weather restrictions. I'm not going to let my 12-year-old go out in a bikini to school or something. But if my 12-year-old wants to wear, God forbid, a crop top, whatever could we do? A crop top? Is that belly skin? Is that a midriff? Whatever will we do? That also applies to their style. I wouldn't be oh, you can't wear black. If you wear black, that means you're a demon, or something like that. I would not do that to them. I would pay for my kids' clothes. And I know what you're saying, Adele. Kids should learn to start paying for their own stuff. And I agree. But clothing is so ungodly expensive that if my kid doesn't have a job, they're not going to be able to explore their personal style. And their personal style is important. So, I would pay for my kids' clothes. I would put restrictions on makeup, depending on age. I would let my kids do, eyeshadow and glitter and stuff at any age. I would let my kids start using concealer whenever they started to have insecurities on their face. But I wouldn't let them use, contour until they're well into high school. Because I feel like once you get into the contour territory, you are risking body dysmorphia. I know, because I did that to myself with eyeliner. It does happen. And I want my kids to have, a strong sense of self before they would start messing with the stuff that changes the way you look instead of just decorating the way you look. My kids would have their own space. They would have their own rooms. I would expect them to come socialize sometimes, obviously, but they would have their own space. Speaking of their own space, I would not be searching their devices. Obviously, exceptions apply. If they're Adele, your child is selling drugs, or I think something is, actually wrong. But in general, their devices are theirs. That's their life. It's not my business. So I'm staying out. I would also not restrict the music that my kids listen to. After a certain age. I got into black metal at 14. I don't really care what music they're into. It doesn't. People are so much more than the music they listen to. I mean, Admonitor their music taste, because music does affect people. But at the end of the day, it's not my music taste. I'm not the one controlling it. As far as food goes, I would do my best to ensure they eat healthy, but I wouldn't enforce on them any sort of like weight watching or calorie counting, because I think that's, at that point, that's just like obvious bad things. I Again, if there's like a medical reason, then of course, like I have a medication that causes me to lose really scary amounts of weight, so I have to monitor my weight. If my kid had something like that, of course we'd be counting calories, but that's not a normal situation. But yeah, I think that's all I have to say for this video. Thank you for watching. I just want to give a disclaimer, like, my parents don't do this to me. It's just something I see happen, and I would not do that to my own kids. But yeah, see ya.